now rocking with TDF everything. Spoiled Rotten.
Spoiler alert.
Welcome and welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
It's me, Daniel,
And this is Ban.
on Spoiled Rotten. And today, we are going to spoil the first two seasons of Gen V. You probably heard us talk about it very briefly when we were doing a tier list of superhero shows, but now we're actually going to get into the meat of it.
That's right. Double header. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah. Or I'll just probably talk about the season I like.
Sure. I can't wait to hear which one we're talking about more.
Yeah, this is a spin-off of The Boys, if people don't know. I believe it takes place in between the third and fourth season.
You're talking about season one?
Yeah, season
Yeah.
one.
I believe you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I was trying to go from the beginning to the end. I should have set that up at the top. We are at Godolphin University. In season one, you're just like, that's a weird name. But you learn about how young people as soups go to school and the tracks they can go on. But as the season progresses, you learn they're probably not in for what they think they're in for, even without a dean who's trying to kill them. It really does feel like it's like, just put them on the track of being influencers and celebrities, and very few of them are actually on track to be superheroes. But since we all know the Boys universe, even being a superhero is not that good of an option.
Yeah.
So just going straight to the 7. I really like the idea of it. At first I was kind of like, I don't care about this. I'm just watching it because it's on, but I was hooked right away, and I was like, yeah, I guess I do like the concept here. I'm not trying to hide what happens, but just in general, the same way the Boys hooked me right away with like, oh, this is what it would be like if superheroes were controlled by corporations. It was interesting to be like, oh, this is what it would be like if you took being a superhero as seriously as like most people take university. Like the whole like, yeah, you got to take these classes so that you can be on the track for this and all that. I was sucked in with that idea.
Yeah. It's a fantastic concept because like prior to this in The Boys, we see Starlight's ascension to the 7 and all that kind of stuff, and largely she's home trained and all that kind of stuff. So like I was just like, okay, in this universe, I guess they're all going that route, and then this is very, very different from that. And I'm just like, oh, okay, what does institutionalized training look like?
Right.
And this is exactly what it looks like. And I'm like, this is actually kind of cool.
I do like the concept of the show. I was in on first episode with Marie, who's pretty much the lead of this series. Which reasons they can get into more in season 2, but right away I was like, oh, that's really cool, which is she gets her powers basically during her first period. Her powers are she can control blood like Victoria Newman. And it sounds like a joke, but in the moment watching it is very intense and sad that she can't control her period blood and it ends up killing her parents.
Yeah, it's a traumatic. I don't know if it's traumatic, but I just know it's a big
traumatic for her.
For her, it's traumatic, but it's a big thing in every young girl's life when they first menstruate, and then on top of that, to actually have a bloody massacre, it's just terrifying. Absolutely, it's terrifying.
And I do like that throughout season 1, they really hit that she wants to be able to save someone that is bleeding out. Comes up a couple of times, and I'm just like, oh, I forgot about that. They really nailed that. Like most good superheroes, like there's that one thing they thought they did wrong that drives them, and I do like that, especially in season 1. There's a lot of talk of her. It's paid off in season 2, but a lot of talk in season 1 of her being like, I don't think of myself as a superhero. I'm a monster. I hate myself. A lot of suicidal ideation talk, like early on in the season. And I appreciated that she wasn't, and I don't mean this as a knock because I do like Starlight. What's her name? You know who I'm talking about.
Aaron
Annie.
Moriarty.
Annie.
Annie, okay.
Yeah.
The
She
actress.
doesn't like being called that character anyway. But yeah, I like that character, but I like this take on I'm motivated by this mistake I made and not the oh gee golly I'm gonna be a hero one day.
Hmm.
This
Hmm.
is like I just need to prove to myself that I'm not a terrible like being.
Yep.
Um and I do like a lot of the early friction she has with the people who become her friends. That
Hmm.
they're kind of like, oh, you're just coming in because I've remembered it as they're all freshmen, but they're not. She's coming into a group of people who are already established at
Hmm.
Godolphin University,
Hmm.
and they're kind of just like, you seem to be coming up too quickly, and uh, it's Andre, right? The
Yeah.
the so Andre kind of is like, whatever, she's cool, and invites her out, and I still can't quite get if they were just trying to fuck with her, but it seemed like Andre at the very least was like, whatever, just like let's stop shitting on her.
Yeah.
Um, and he ultimately cuts someone with his med because they're all high and drunk
Hmm.
at a club they shouldn't be at. But there's a character named Kate who can control people's minds if he touches them, and they get in and they're being reckless. And this is the first time where like someone's bleeding out, and obviously you're like, Marie, this is your chance. This is your
Yeah.
chance.
You could do it.
Yeah. And
But
that
she doesn't.
no, but this is the track that they're on of like they know something's up the school, and they're like, well, time to sacrifice somebody here because it's not going to be the golden boy played
Hmm.
by I mean his name is literally golden boy, but also he's the um in real life Patrick's or he's Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, which I find interesting because I'm like sometimes he looks like him, but since he doesn't have the accent, it's very funny to just be like, yeah, that's just what happens when you don't grow up in Austria.
Yeah, and don't have a lisp. Yeah, it's Patrick Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. uh yeah, I like that that's kind of the jump off point for the real story to begin, which is she's now involved with these people who messed up. And as I said, the tension being like, well, you're disposable, and she's kind of just like, I don't like, leave me alone. I just want to do my thing here.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's kind of the Marie thing up until that point,
Hmm.
and yeah, I like the cast of characters. There's obviously we mentioned Golden Boy Andre, who seems to be for many reasons they bring up like he's a black guy, so that's good. That makes us look good.
Hmm.
Um, but Marie is also up there because like that would be the first black woman in the seven. Again, that's why I mentioned when this takes place because
Hmm.
obviously at a certain point Sister Sage is part of that, so
Hmm.
that doesn't factor in. But I did like that. I my memory was that this show didn't really get into that kind of stuff, but it does. Like the first scene
Hmm.
still gets into that idea of representation
Hmm.
and race relations. But what I found interesting, I've been listening to some people, and they were they're YouTubers, but I don't remember their names now. And they were talking about not looking for representation in a white supremacist landscape of media, and I don't really agree with that, but it was on display in the first scene where Marie's dad is like, "Oh, that's so sick! Like, A Train's a part of the seven," and the mom
Hmm.
was rightfully like, I mean, that's not great. And he's like, "I'll take it. It's a black guy. Like, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter." And obviously, we have all the context for what A Train A is going through and the cool arc they put him on, but in general, how shitty of a person he is, and you shouldn't be like, "Yay!" Like,
Yeah.
the representation.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just like that that doesn't go away, and the politics of who they put on their like leaderboard of the top 10 students, the politics still go into that of
Hmm.
why a character like Jordan, who is they call them by gender because they aren't transitioning one way or the other. They can be male or female.
Yes.
And I like when they choose to be male or female because that says a lot about how they feel about themselves and how people feel about women in the world.
Yeah, yeah, it's a very, very interesting character, and I just love the character so much, especially when you see them interact with her family and
Hmm.
how hard that is on the family and all that
The
kind of
dad
stuff.
just being like, because obviously you know where it's going, but
Yeah,
that he's trying to be pleasant, but you're like, something's gonna happen, and then
you've got
it
an
finally comes to
agenda.
like,
Yeah,
can't you just be my boy?
yeah.
And Jordan has to be like, I'm the same kid. It does like I like the same things. This is just and what
Mhm.
makes it more interesting to me is the fact that the parents did that to their kid. Like in all
Yes.
these situations, you just nobody is born a superhero
Mhm.
other than uh wait, was Homelander a test tube
Nope.
baby? No, he
He
still
was
was.
not a
He
test tube
still had
baby.
parents. They just separated him from everyone.
Correct.
So yeah, like you're just like it is shitty to treat your kid like this when you
Hmm.
did this to them.
Hmm. Yeah, it's
This was not like a. This isn't a good. Not when I say it's not a good, I mean it's not a 1-to-1 for oh you have a trans kid, because there's a lot of things that you take away from that person when you say well the parents did this to them or whatever. Like there are the ways they feel, whereas this one is like no, that literally is just you inject them with something and then whatever happens happens.
Yeah, I especially love the fact that this character is Asian
Mm-hmm.
because there's so many of the Asian kind of parenting tropes that I see so clearly in the father, especially because the
Mm-hmm.
mother doesn't really have a lot of speaking lines. The tension's primarily between Jordan and the father and all that kind of stuff, and the father being like, "But if you have a choice, why would you do that? You know, why would you switch back and forth? Why don't you just stay one thing?" And it's born out of this preservation need to be like, hey, why are you making your life more difficult? And if you can choose this and make your life less difficult, this layers into so many different things like sexuality and
Mm-hmm.
gender identification and all that kind of stuff. And fundamentally, it is just the parents not acknowledging their contribution to this, whether or not Jordan was going to be non-binary, as without the V in their system, that is just made accelerated by the parents' decisions, and like the way they behave is just making the situation even worse for everyone involved. So I really appreciate the fact that, like you said, this is a show that is still dealing with the race politics of the
It's
boys, but it's dealing with it with a younger generation. And I do like that a lot more because it's a different conversation with the younger
mm-hmm.
generation than the older generation. And I think
Yeah.
it's so well explored through the character of Jordan in
Jordan is
particular.
such an interesting character. Like we
Hmm.
haven't even said what their power is, which is yes, they are bi gender, but they also, uh, when they're male, are it feels like they're like a brick wall type thing. So
Yeah,
there's the
like super
defense.
strength and
They're
something like
on
that.
defense, and
Hmm.
then when uh they're female, they're on offense because they can project
Hmm.
blasts and
Yeah.
stuff. And I during fights it's interesting when they switch, but also
Hmm.
I think is it season 1 or 2? I can't remember. There's like a scene where they're like you need to I think it's season 1 where Marie says you need to stop changing into male when you want to make a point to us.
Hmm.
Like we will take it seriously because it's you. You don't need
Yes.
to switch for that. But even these two characters, Marie and Jordan, have a romantic thing that's more interesting to me in season 1. But the
Mm.
fact that they go to bed male and wake up female, and then it's their hang up of, well, she didn't like it because it was me female. And I like that one of the characters like, it seems like a you hang up. Like you didn't really give her
Hmm.
a choice in this, so you should probably just talk to her because you don't know what she wants. You're just
Yeah.
assuming.
And that's exactly what I mean about the younger generation handling
Mm-hmm.
these things because it's very clear. Like I think the younger generations, when they see these kind of things, they're so able to cut through all the bullshit that people used to use to raise that up as a defense
Mm-hmm.
mechanism. And they're just like, No, you're the one that's not giving them a chance to actually do anything." And then you're right, when Marie calls them out and being like, hey, switching to male just to make a point is this really not it's not necessary for us, but it might be necessary for your dad, for example. You know what I mean?
Right, like we're your actual friends. We know and like you. You don't have to protect yourself by going
Yeah,
male to
yeah,
have any kind of say in what goes on.
yeah. It's so it's just wonderful to see the defenses being brought down slowly through the season and learning to trust and all that kind of stuff. Because when Jordan does make a point as a female, as the first time they do it, they're all like, "Yeah, cool," and then there's
Mhm.
like positive reinforcement towards that, and it's it's a great moment. But it is one of those things where, especially for them, the way their lived experience has been, they will just code switch so naturally
Yeah,
to do stuff like that.
like, and sometimes it's funny where they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna turn male if I have to go pee.
Yeah,
That's just easier. Why wouldn't I do that?"
yeah,
But I led with the making a point thing. That was the more interesting thing for me. Of like, oh yeah,
yeah,
like you would maybe get into that habit, and
yes,
also the initial issue that Jordan had with Marie, where they were like, "No, you're not. You didn't make it into the class. You're not on the list."
hmm
Of feeling like I don't, I don't want to have to. That idea of there can only be one minority, really, and by virtue, they keep saying it by virtue of them being Asian and by gender, it's just
hmm
like a non-starter in terms of her go or them going up higher than fifth or something like that.
right,
And then somehow it makes Andre less of, I guess it's because he's a legacy. But
hmm
yeah, he doesn't have that ceiling. But you do also understand of like the minority in terms of being female as well.
hmm
Um, of her being like, too much competition.
yeah,
I'm not into that.
yeah. It's it's very interesting to see play out because in many industries, I'm just going to pick one random, like newscasters, for example. They'll be like, oh, that person's black and this and this and this. I don't have a chance and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, that's the identity politics that people are projecting onto that kind of stuff. And it's interesting to see it played out through this and within the school and that thought being very ingrained in even young people too.
Yeah, that they know it. It
Hmm
isn't just something where behind the scenes,
hmm
a bunch of older people are making these decisions. It's that the young people are hyper aware of what it would mean for them if
hmm
they were to go above a certain thing. And some people already know, like name Emma. I don't know. You know the one, Little Cricket. Yeah, Emma.
Yeah, Lizzie
She's kind of
Broadway
like, well,
is
that's
the
the actress
actress.
name.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
trying to go by character name.
Emma Myers, the
Yeah,
character name. I yeah, my bad.
she's very much like, yeah, like what am I gonna do with this power? So she's
Hmm
already in her head been like, I'm gonna just be. I think at first she's doing the sideshow thing, but I
hmm
I like that her story is um going from the self-loathing, like obviously Marie and her are roommates, and they've got
hmm
similar issues of not liking themselves.
hmm
Um, and I like that the first time she goes big, she's kind of like not ever, but in the show, Marie's kind of like, "Did you know you could do that?" Unless that's not a nice thing to ask. And she was doing it kind of spitefully at first.
hmm
She's like, "Well, yeah, like I did it once, and my mom said not to, so fuck her or whatever." But I like that you realize she could just like herself as season two goes on and
hmm
stuff. Like, oh, she can just like herself. She doesn't have to purge or binge
hmm
to get to these powers.
hmm Yeah, her power set's very unique, like you said. It's and so is Marie's because they're both tied to self-harm at the end of the day. Uh
Well,
Emma's is
I do like about
mhm.
yeah, for both of them, they realize they don't need to do the self harm, but
Yes.
that's why I brought up Victoria Newman, who like
hmm
I like in season one. She when she first meets her, she's like, "Oh, let me see your knife," as if like I just assume that's how you do it. But
hmm
season two is all like trying to push her to stop using that and actually pay attention to her powers. And get in touch with herself,
Hmm.
even though it's done by a bad guy.
Yeah.
Still, I like that that's the path she's on.
Yeah. It's a good path, and it's nice that it happens in season two. Um, because in season one it's very much like it's go 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 with all that kind of stuff, and it gets to a point where it's like, yeah, you can't really put that in season one when they're doing so much already. So I do like the fact that season two gets to focus on that for both characters, both Emma and Marie, in the
Hmm.
sense where they're just like, hey, your powers still work without self-harm.
Yeah,
So this is definitely more about getting over those inner demons than anything else.
yeah, I do like that.
Hmm.
We haven't really talked about Andre outside of He's a Legacy. His dad,
Yeah.
was his
Mhm.
dad ever in the seven? I feel like no, right?
I don't think
He
his dad
couldn't have
was in the
been
seven.
because the whole point was A Train was the first one. Got it. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
So he couldn't.
It was. I think the dad was just definitely like in the admissions department in the school or something like that.
Yeah, but I got this sense that like he's like popular still
Yeah,
for
yeah,
being
like
a
the
superhero. Like
yeah.
not just people from Godal can like him.
Yeah, I don't know, because a lot of superheroes that we see, or cameos that we see, they have like this link to be like, oh, you used to be this person, which had a TV show and all this kind of stuff, and you're all that. So like, probably in entertainment, I don't know, but I can't remember,
Hmm.
because I didn't get a chance to rewatch season one before this,
Yeah.
but it's just definitely one of those things that could have been the case, especially considering how Godolkin is, and that ranking system now being based on social media follows and all that kind of stuff. So very likely, I'm willing to guess that he was in some form of entertainment prior to, or maybe part of the smaller um, cities that have their own superheroes and all that
Right.
kind of stuff.
But yeah, they have the exact same power, right? They can control metal.
Uh, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes, they do have the same power, because
they
they
have the
talk about
same
that in
power.
season two. Yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately, um, the actor who played Andre died in between season one and two, so
Yeah.
he's not a part. The character is part of season two in a way of like he died off screen,
Hmm.
but they're not just like he died. Season two is dealing with that, and it is top of mind for everyone. It's not like they're just like, oh yeah, it sucks that he died. But it does mean that his dad becomes more a part of the action in
Yeah.
season two.
Yeah.
But we know from season one that he's got something that's killing him,
Hmm.
and Andre had it too. But I guess that doesn't really factor into anything now.
Hmm.
That's kind of like after the fact. Um, but yeah, I liked that element of it, of this guy who could have been, I think in his eyes, could have been part of the seven, having his son so close to being part of the seven.
Hmm.
Um, and how that would get in the way of him being a good parent
Hmm.
and being more of like a manager type person.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, yeah, it's very, very sad for Chance Perdomo, who's the actor that plays Andre Anderson. I believe died in a car crash or
It was
motor
car or
vehicle accident or
motorcycle,
something like
something like
that.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, between the seasons, so they had to pivot quite hard. But I do like the fact that they're just not like, oh yeah, he was gone, and then they just kind of move on the whole second season.
Hmm.
He's constantly coming up through the father story arc too, and the father becomes very, very important in the final scene. So that's really, really good.
Yeah. Um, let's close out season one.
There's also another character that we didn't get a chance to talk about at all, which is Sam.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do to close out season one.
Yeah.
He is the mystery of that season.
Hmm.
Not the character, but he is part of. He's the into the mystery of this season, which is in the first episode. We know is that uh, Golden Boy kills the Clancy Brown dean. And now I'm not saying character's name. I don't remember what his
Hmm.
name is. Not a dean, but somebody anyway. He is a professor, and it's because there's a place called the Woods,
Hmm.
and he has memories back of his brother being in the woods,
Hmm.
and Sam is his brother. And
Hmm.
what we do know is that Kate was complicit in keeping them apart and keeping the secret up because she would just memory wipe people every
Hmm.
time they figured out what was going on in the woods.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I didn't. Yeah, it was. I found that interesting, but I was like, I guess you're just a bad guy. It's it's hard for me to be like, yeah, she can do better. I'm like, it just feels like you have all the information and you're making terrible choices.
You talking about Kate or?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just like, oh boy, like I don't know that you could come back from like this season tries to get you back on board until she reveals her true colors. I feel like
Hmm.
to her friends at the very least.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, Sam. I don't know what his power is. He's like super strong, but he also hallucinates, and I don't know if that's like part of
Uh,
it.
the hallucinations are definitely not a part of his power set. They're just we find out in season two that he was born with a mental health issue, and they never really go to identify what it is. I mean, it sounds and looks like schizophrenia to me, but they never really identify what it is. They're just like he's got extreme mental health issues.
I just feel
Um,
like part of it is him phasing into seeing puppets in particular, and that
this,
making it easier for him to do the things he's doing.
sure.
Which is why I do think it is more tied to it than not.
Hmm. Interesting. Interesting.
He even says like I tore a man apart in half, but when he was a puppet.
Yeah,
So even he's acknowledging it is easier because they're puppets. It's not like he's not uh feeling the ease of it.
sure. Yeah. Yeah, those
He see
I mean,
Sam is a character that for me in terms of powers, it's just got too much going on.
he
It
does. There's
it
a
feels
lot.
too complicated for me.
Yeah, because he can basically do superhuman strength and durability stuff and all that kind of stuff. But where the mental health stuff comes in is really, really a question because that's an interesting point that you just brought up about how he uses it, I guess, to make violence a little bit easier for himself.
Yeah, I mean, you could be right. It just feels like there's no real. There is. He has mental health issues, but
Mhm.
I don't know that that doesn't play into the power and how it works.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Um,
it's never really clear, at least not to me.
and I don't think it would be better if I had clarity on that. It's
Right.
just more I understand what his main purpose in season one is, and then
Mhm.
I kind of feel less interested in season two.
Yeah, yeah, his character in season two doesn't really get a lot to do, but I think that's a lot of the reason is because they find his brother in season one, and that's his whole thing. He's pushing for that, right? Um, so yeah, season two is just kind of it's a bit weird with his character, I will
Yeah,
say.
I thought a bunch of stuff was weird in season two, but
Yeah,
there's it's not without its good parts.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, Sam. What's interesting about when they kind of get him out and integrated is that you get to experience the university anew again. Like you're
Hmm.
kind of like when they're like the ice guy is like letting people slide down, and you're just like, oh yeah, like this is the fun part of being. And I think many characters even tell him like, we're superheroes, we can do whatever we want. Like it does not,
Hmm.
because obviously he's used to being in the woods, which is the facility that the dean is using to test out how to kill superheroes.
Hmm.
We should say the dean, her family was on that plane that Homelander did not save and actively tried to kill everybody on.
Yep.
So she's just like, I'm gonna get you guys, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that seems like a. I guess they just don't care about those kids. Is because I'm just like, feels like you would vet something like this if they're not a
Yeah.
superhero. You'd be like, why do you want to do this?
Well, I mean, season two definitely makes it seem like they don't care about the kids.
Well, season one does. I'm just saying. I was
Yeah,
about to be like, why don't they? And then I was like, they just don't care.
they just don't care.
They just don't
It's
care.
it. I think it's like every
Like real
post-secondary
life, they don't care.
institution. Yeah, I think it's like every post-secondary institution. It's just these kids are just financial.
Well, you don't
They're
even
just
have
giving
to
us
go to
money.
post secondary,
Yeah.
considering how many like gun deaths there are in American schools in particular that
Oh God, yeah.
don't just start at high school and post secondary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where they're just kind of like, if only there was something we could do about this
Yeah.
gun
If
laws.
only there was something that could easily be done. that has worked in other countries, but
I know. Let's
no,
give the teachers guns.
but we
Anyway,
need our Second Amendment. That's it.
but yeah, I think the yeah, so not even the superheroes are safe, and as they're exposable kids. But yeah, that Dean is testing out this virus, and she's getting close. But then Victoria Newman comes in and kind of sidelines that.
Yep.
And I was like, I forgot that Victoria Newman has stuff to do in the season. She's not just a cameo. That's nice. Then Sam kind of is like, wait a minute. I think they're right. We're superheroes. Why would we? Why would we ever make ourselves small?
Sure.
And is just kind of on the. I feel like this season was like a MAGA type thing. Not that they haven't done that before, but
The season one.
Was, yeah, just like like we're superheroes. We're not gonna just let all these other lower forms of life tell us what to do. And they start like a big coup on the campus. Not great.
Nope.
A lot of violence. Homelander kind of shuts it down, but not before telling Marie like, "What kind of animal are you that you'd go against your own people?" And I was like, "Yikes!"
Yeah,
real tough stuff to hear stuff like that come out of that actor's mouth. But anyway, that's for another time.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, Homelander ends the whole coup, all that kind of stuff, and we find our heroes, so to speak, trapped up by the end of season one.
Yeah.
They're locked up with nowhere really to go. And that's how the season ends.
Yeah. I really liked the season. I thought it was great. And then season 2 happens, and as we mentioned, Andre is dead. Seems like there was a big break. Maria made it out and decided not to bring anyone with her and tried to go it on her own, which is terrible choice.
Yeah, that's
obviously
not great.
You're just
for
like,
the character,
on, right?
Yeah.
Back at the they just tell them to go back to school, right? Like eventually throughout season 2,
yeah,
like just go back. Here are your statements. Just we're done with this nonsense.
Yeah, because they basically walk them into this impossible situation where it's like, hey, if you come back to school, then you don't have to be here, but you have to be our puppets and you have to play our corporate game for Vought and all that kind of stuff, right? That gets very, very, very played out in Jordan's character in particular. But yeah, for the most part, they're like, hey, we'll let you guys out, but you're on a short leash. And yeah, that's how season 2 starts.
And well, we should say season 2 does start with the actual character Godolkin, played by SpongeBob from Broadway, and Ariana Grande's maybe ex. I don't know.
Ethan Slater.
Sure. That guy.
SpongeBob. That's awesome.
That's the guy that left his wife right after she gave birth to their kid and befriended
Ariana
Grande.
Rough guy.
Yeah.
Probably really good casting for Godolkin then, considering what he is.
I mean, I like that I didn't think, oh, he's just trying. Like, I believed him in the character. It wasn't like I saw, because I have seen Wicked, so I wasn't like, oh, he's just doing this. But or sometimes I feel like character or actors who are known for being like the soft guy try to overcompensate.
Yeah.
I didn't feel that here. I thought he just did what he needed to do for the role.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, you see him back in the day, and he gets
in
burnt.
1967 or something like that. Yeah, where V was first
They're like
done.
testing out. They're like testing it out on themselves.
And that's
what'd you get?
Wild that they were. They were just like, all right, let's just like go in a circle and test this V on ourselves. And I'm just like, what? This? I can't see scientists doing that. I can see them doing that to rat and making sure it's stable before they inject it themselves. But I mean, hell, everyone wants power, right? And that's what the show is really looking for. So,
so they did that. He's burnt, and then there's a character named Cypher.
Yes, I love this character so much.
He's just being puppeted by Godolkin. I just want to get that out in the open. But that does not mean he's not a very interesting character and one of my favorite parts of the season. This is
Yes.
also the guy who does the voice of Batman in the Cape Crusader show that was on Amazon.
Nice.
Hamish something.
Hamish Linklater.
It is Linklater. Wow. Well,
Linklater, yeah.
anyway, this guy, he's cool.
Yep.
Also, he plays a terrible racist person in Nickel Boys, and it really fucked me
Yeah.
up. But he's not anything in this. He's just a puppet.
Yep.
But
Just good old fashioned meat puppet.
he's doing a great job of throwing some people off. I think a lot of people, I didn't guess it, but a lot of people guess, he's just being controlled.
I didn't guess that whatsoever.
I think the big thing was when Marie tried to check his blood, and she's like, he doesn't have any V in his blood.
right.
And I was like, oh, I can see why people would immediately be like, oh, he's being controlled.
Yeah. Yeah, I just thought he got the super deluxe version of V that,
Or that he could hide. I thought he could hide it from her or something. I don't know
Yeah.
what that would even help with. Because
right.
he's still trying to show he has powers.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really like this character, and he's the one that's pushing Marie to not use a knife on herself to do things. And
Mhm.
I feel like she does it in fits and spurts where he's like, like you could like control someone's heartbeat, and so like, you don't need to just use your blood as weapons all the time.
Yeah.
You could. I mean, Victoria Newman just popped heads. I feel like that was like her main go-to move, but
Yes.
I did like that she was like, oh no, I can do stuff in the body before I pop a head, because
Mhm.
that's like the ticking time bomb in season 2 is she's working on dealing with other people's blood, and then it's just like, when are they going to blow up though?
Yeah.
She can't actually control this that well. And I think they even get to a point where they want Jordan and Marie to fight each other, and it's done like a UFC fight. And at one point she's got Jordan floating in the air, and you're like, oh, this didn't go well last time with the sheep. I didn't think Jordan was going to die, but I was like, oh, like this, they're going to get out of this and it's going to fuck them up.
I actually did think Jordan was going to die in that scene. I
Oh,
really,
yeah.
really did.
I just thought that it was there to, like, I guess ultimately do what happens at the end of the season. I know we're jumping around, but where Jordan's like, I can't do this anymore.
Mhm.
I don't want to keep having the same thing. I thought it was more like that of like, we can't force this to work. It's just not gonna work.
Mhm. Mhm.
I just figured she had to, or they had to be alive for that.
Yeah. And it's such an interesting concept, right? Because it's just like, up until now, really, you only see these heroes use their powers for personal gain or anything like that.
Yeah, they're
Instead,
kids. I mean, they're not kids, but they're university students, so they're not like
Yeah.
actually doing superhero stuff.
Yeah, and even like superheroes doing superhero stuff, you learn, oh, this is how Homelander does it. He picks and chooses very carefully like what can be done, and he's just a giant asshole the entire time. So it's just like the idea of anyone using the boys universe has just convinced me that I'm like, yeah, nobody's going to use their powers for good unless they're paid for it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to see the idea of like, oh, you could actually do some good, like that was really interesting to me. I was like, oh, this is hope in this universe.
Yeah. Edgar comes by for a bit. Stan Edgar.
Yep.
That was cool.
That was
I don't remember
really
what
cool.
he does, but he's there. Well, he's there with his granddaughter, in
Yep.
quotation marks, granddaughter, who I was like, oh, I'm glad she's back too.
Yeah. He's basically all like, oh God, I can't remember exactly what he's doing, but it was great to see him.
He's trying to help them. He's trying to give them protection and like give them a place to like regroup.
Yeah. And then also joins in the fight, so to speak, to be like, hey, you mean Godolkin's actually alive?
Mhm.
That could be the whole answer to ending Homelander and ending this whole thing. And that was really
Odessa
interesting
is
for a
like
little
the
bit.
thing, right? They're like
Odessa Project, which
yeah,
is
which is Marie, but also
also Homelander.
Homelander.
Yeah.
So basically, they've set up Maria as being like one of the strongest superheroes.
Yes.
Most
They keep
powerful, I
saying
should
it
say.
through the whole season, and I'm just like, yeah, it's great that they keep saying it, because it felt like, okay, well, and this goes back to the Batman Robin thing. It's like true power isn't taking someone's life, it's being able to give someone life or something like that. I'm like, oh, that's where they're going with this. This is hope. This is really, really cool.
Well, yeah, as I said, like she's
Hmm.
constantly trying to save people, even when
Hmm.
in season one where Kate makes the dean kill herself.
Yep.
She's like, "You have to let me save her, Kate. You have to."
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, yeah, you got to be a good person, but also this person, this person's got to go. I mean,
Yeah.
she doesn't have to die, but she's got to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's rough. It's like she's taken the Hippocratic Oath without
Yeah,
actually taking the Hippocratic
but
Oath.
that's her thing. She wasn't able to save the two people she really wanted to save. She also
Hmm.
lost her sister. We guys really didn't say that. She also lost her sister as a result of it. So to
Hmm.
her, she is just trying to like redeem herself from that original sin.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things who she's saving, just as long as she can say that she can save a life.
Yeah. Yeah. She's wiping out her ledger, so to
Yeah,
speak. Yeah.
her sister is in this season. I mean, technically in the first season, but different actress.
Yeah.
Because that was the flashback, and her sister is like can somewhat see the future. Well, she gets visions,
Yeah. She's a
so it's a,
precog, is what they call her.
well, she's a shitty precon.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
That's what I was trying to get at. Is that all of the materials there? She doesn't really put it together in the best possible way. It's a lot
Yeah.
of wait a minute. Oh yeah, that thing that just happened. I think I saw that happening before.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Yeah.
thanks.
And she's like, "Oh, that event that happened to our parents as a kid that made me actually not want to talk to you and not feel safe around you. I saw that actually a week beforehand and all that kind of stuff."
Yeah, not helpful. I don't know why
Yeah.
you would bring that up.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing I like about this character is that she's clearly a character that's like, "Oh, okay, I have a power set that I can actually hide
Hmm.
and therefore, you know, maybe be a bit more safe or whatever it might be, but it's just the fact that she can hide the power set and just choose to live
Hmm.
in the shadows and all that kind of stuff."
Totally.
Yeah.
Um, I do like the character. That wasn't me being like she's a shit character because she's got bad or she doesn't know how to use her powers. It's just I like where she's coming from. Other
Yes.
than the I saw you killing our parents ahead of
Mhm.
time. I'm like, I don't why. What is
Yeah.
how does that help anything?
That doesn't help anyone.
This is just weird. um,
Yeah.
but yeah, other than that, I did like the character and how she pushes Marie.
Hmm.
I guess it would be nicer if I liked her on her own terms. But I just like what it means for Marie, if I'm
Hmm.
being honest, because I really like Marie as a character.
Yeah.
Um, e- but yeah, Cypher's in there. He's running classes where he's like, "I'm literally gonna kill you with this Thor character.
Yeah.
You better get good at your powers, everyone." And it makes sense once you've seen the full season and you realize that Godolkin's like, what the fuck have we been doing this whole time? Like the
Yeah.
seven is basically just Homelander, and then like losers like the Deep and A Train. Like this is ridiculous. You're all wasting your powers at this school. Like
Hmm.
he's like killing. I think it's parallel to the first season where like that one guy gets out of the woods, quote unquote,
Hmm.
and is like, "Are you a human or a soup?" And the person's like, I'm not. I'm a soup," and then the next person's a human, and he melts her face off. And
Hmm.
then in this school, Dolkin's like, "What's your power? You're wasting it. I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna do this." Like everyone needs to get better.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Because Godolkin's whole thing is like, uh, we need to be gods,
yes.
right? It, and his whole thing is like, obviously the V's not perfected enough to be like, okay, we can actually give you a useful power set. There's like power sets there that are like the one guy, the first guy he kills right off the bat, the pledge in the diaper. It's like, what can you do? It's like, oh, I can turn my feet into hands.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, that's useless. Kill
I hate it.
yourself.
I hate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but then there's a character like Bushmaster where she can control her pubic hair and
Yep.
actually do stuff.
Yep. And I'm like, the fact that she got named Bushmaster, I'm like,
Mm.
that is freaking hilarious. It's just,
And
it's
then
so funny to me.
I know she's in the first season as well,
Hmm.
like kind of on the periphery, but the girl with the tail, but she can mimic people's powers
Oh yeah, yeah,
for a
yeah,
brief amount, and then basically that's how they save the day when Godolkin kind of is like, "I'm gonna turn the strong people against everyone else," and
yeah,
she's like, she can mimic his powers, so then she can save everybody. I'm like, that's really cool. Like,
yeah,
I wonder where they're gonna go with that.
yeah, yeah.
And they put a time limit on it. Like, she can't just keep doing it.
It's only for a minute. Like
Yeah,
they've,
which I
yeah,
love.
Yeah, I really like that because if it's like you can just mimic it the whole time, I'm like, no, no, that makes you too powerful. That the limit is the interesting thing, right?
Mhm.
And that's Harper, played by Jessica Clement. And it's funny, and this is just another example. It's just like, well, what's your power? It's like, well, I'm in the musical theater department and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, yeah, you're not actually being superheroes. You're, another example
But
of you
that's
going into entertainment and all that kind of stuff
well,
with
that's
your
by
powers.
design. That's what I was trying to set up at the
Yep.
beginning, is that they're not actually trying to foster a situation where everyone can actually contribute properly. It's
No.
like, what are we gonna do with all these stupid ass kids?
Yeah,
And
it's just basically a capitalism machine. They're like, here's how you rack up views, here's how you put engagement and basically feed the whole capitalism machine. That's what it is.
I shouldn't say that being in musical theater is not a worthwhile thing. Like, if you're bringing joy to people, that's good.
Yes.
What I mean to say is going to that school um, beats you down,
Yes.
in that even something like being an entertainer would be seen as like what you said, just how you're gonna make money for
Hmm.
yourself, but most likely for Vought,
Hmm.
as opposed to what it should be, which is this pursuit of an art that you genuinely enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, even Emma is kind of like, yeah, like I'm just in this acting class, like in season one,
Mhm.
because it's like, I guess I should get in better roles, but it's not because she has this dream to be an amazing actor and
Mhm.
share her talent that way. It's just like, this is just what I've been told I have to do.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, yeah, Sister Sage is in this, but I don't know if they had the same writers. Just they were kind of just like,
She
remember how
was
she used to have sex with people, and you're like, yeah, is she gonna do anything smart? No, not really. She's gonna
no.
get tricked by Godolkin somehow.
Yeah, in
And
a
you're just like,
really
oh,
bad way.
you're just like,
In a
what?
really bad way. It's like,
I'm like, whatever. I'm glad she got more screen time. This
yeah.
is this isn't Sister Sage.
Yeah, because what you find out is that Sister Sage basically has predicted all the events of the season and has conspired with Godolkin to play out the whole season the way it is, with what is going on with the Resistance and Annie and all that kind of stuff. And Annie does show up in the first episode, and I think that's really, really
And the last
cool.
episode
And the last episode, yeah.
with A
And
Train.
yes.
But that, yeah, a bunch of characters from the boys show up as resistance
Mhm.
people in this. It's
And
same with Stan Edgar.
yeah, so much so that I'm like, oh, okay, this is essentially what the boys is on season 4 going to 5, right?
I think you're going into 5. Yeah, I think
Going
this
into
is the
5.
last
So
season.
to me, I'm like, this is the boys season 4.5 because it feels
Mm,
like it's required watching going into season 5. But I mean, season
I
5
don't.
not being out yet, we don't know how much of that is true, but we do definitely know that at the end of the season, there's convergence.
I wouldn't say it's required watching. Like, all you need to know is that Annie got these kids to be like, okay, we're gonna work with you,
Yeah,
even though Emma rightfully is like, we kind of have our own thing going on here.
yeah,
Um, I think it's very easily explained of like, yeah, we got these kids from university.
yeah.
If you
That's
didn't
fair.
watch the show, you wouldn't be like, well, who are they? You just like, yeah, they're just new characters.
Uh, yeah, that's true. It's true. It's not necessary, but it is something that does
Definitely will be
catch
better
you
that
up.
you we have
Yeah.
seen it, but
Yeah, it catches you up on where certain characters are between the seasons, and I think that's really cool.
yeah, I mean, as you said, we'll have to see, because I don't know. I'm not convinced this cast will be that prominently featured in The Boys.
I think you're probably right about that. They may be prominent in the final fight or whatever it might
Yeah,
be, but it's throughout the whole season. I can definitely see them drawing some lines between which casts are a
yeah.
part of this for
This
sure.
feels like maybe Marie is gonna, not maybe. This feels like Marie will be in season 5 with
Probably,
mention
yeah,
of her friends,
yeah,
but I can't. I don't. I could be wrong. I just don't think
yeah.
money wise they're like, oh, let's just take the cast from our other show and then pay them to be on this show.
You're probably right about that. There are probably gonna be some episodes where it's like, okay, they're yeah, you're right. They're gonna probably pick Marie, and then everyone else is running a side mission with
Hmm.
some other people or
Off
whatever.
screen.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, that's. I really just like the Cypher stuff, but it's kind of over before you can feel great about it. But then
Yeah.
I it gives Hamish Linklater a great time to show what that character was like before he was a meat puppet, and it's
Yeah.
sniveling idiot.
Yeah, it's
He's
a
not
little
even
it
like traumatized. He's kind of just like, oh, I'm just glad this is done, and don't
yeah.
hurt me.
Yeah, yeah. He's like, my name is Doug. I'm not this. It's like he's finally out of my head, and it's when that happened, I was just like, yeah, I probably should have seen that coming. But at the same time, I'm glad that it's a lot more complicated in the sense where it's like Godolkin, who is in the show heavily burned and like being taken care of by Dean Cypher the whole season and all that kind of stuff. You're just like, well, are they actually related or what's going on here? And turns out no, it's Godolkin put his head into
Hmm.
Dean Cypher, plays the meat puppet role
Hmm.
the entire season, and I thought that was pretty damn fun,
Yeah,
to be
it
perfectly
was good
honest. I thought
stuff.
that was really, really cool. And then basically tricks Marie to healing Godolkin to
Oh
back
yeah,
his real
which
self and
someone
all that
warned
kind of stuff.
her about, and she's like,
Yes.
still got to do it, and it's like, it just really feels like this is a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were definitely functioning off of information that was not complete. But that was probably because Mr. Sage designed it that way. I'd like to think.
I still was just like, sorry, you're surprised that he's leaving you now? What's
Yeah,
going on here? I hope in season 5 they're like, yeah, that was part of my plan too. I'm like, great, good, because
sure.
I just, and I would see that more as the boys' writers reclaiming their character. I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
no,
because
that's that was part of her plan.
yeah, because I completely agree with you here. I'm like, Sister Sage looks stupid in this season.
Yeah,
She really,
I
really
wasn't
does. I
into it.
mean, the only thing that you could be like, oh, okay, she was blinded by love, which I can accept. I
But I don't
can
think she
accept
loves
that.
any of these people. I think she likes fucking
Bingo.
people that she thinks are beneath her because that's part of
That's
her like
yeah,
not having to be smart
yeah,
in
absolutely. No,
those
I
moments where
completely
she's
agree.
lobotomizing herself.
Yes, she is definitely, I think, using these people as a means to an end and all that kind of stuff, but maybe caught feelings along the line. But at the same time, I'm just
I
like,
mean,
yeah.
it is true she's
Mhm.
attracted to power, and Godolkin would be the
Yes.
power.
Yeah.
But no, about love. I mean, not. I'm not saying you're wrong. It's just more like I would hope she that their thing on this is like she's too smart for that, and I don't mean that that's a universal truth, but
Mhm.
I feel like writing her that way that she would think she's too smart for love.
Yeah.
But again, I just was like, I don't know that you'd slip up on the like.
I agree
It
with
just feels like
that.
such an obvious thing that the Nazi wouldn't want to hang out with you
Yeah. Yeah. And it
after they
seems,
got what they wanted.
yeah, it seems like the moment there was deviation from the plan, it's just like, oh, it's starting to slip from you. Like, I don't think you have control over this anymore.
Hmm.
She tries to take control over it. She's like, hey, let me remind you that this is the big thing and all that kind of stuff. And Godolkin's like, yeah, that's your big thing. My big
Yeah,
thing is this.
yeah, I got what I wanted out of this. I don't need.
Yeah, I'm healed.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just was like, I don't know about all this, but there's still another season of her show, so we'll see.
yeah.
I know it's not her show, but she started on The Boys, so I just figured that
Hmm.
was where we'll continue that. Um, I did see some people thinking like, "Oh, is Marie gonna be a villain?" And I was like, I just don't
I
think
can't see
that.
that
I
being the
understand how it's
case.
written where you think that she could be, but I'm just like, I don't. They already did the Kate stuff where I'm
Yeah,
like, it doesn't like you can't just be like, well, one of them's gonna turn bad. It's like well, Kate already did,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
she had to build herself back up.
yeah. Uh,
Because
hates.
that's Kate's thing, right? Like, can you heal me? Like, we already know you can heal now,
Yes.
so can you heal me?
Yeah, can you heal me? And then Marie's thing is like, yeah, I can, but I don't trust you because you used your powers against every one of us, but you're
A
still involved
lot. Like
somehow.
when I
Oh,
rewatched
yeah.
season 1, I was like, what the
She
fuck?
was
Like,
doing it
I felt like
regularly.
Will Smith and Men in Black were like, you could give her like brain cancer. It's like you can't just keep doing that to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised at how often it happened in
Yeah.
season 1.
I mean, I was, but also at the same time, I'm like, yeah, I feel like they're definitely making because like even in season two, they're like, you're part of Vought, you're a part of the Vought machine and all that kind of stuff. You're doing stuff for Vought, and they're trying the whole season to really, really, really learn to trust her,
Hmm.
even though she's never had trust to begin with. She's always deceived people and just done whatever she wanted. So the whole driving thing with Marie and Kate in this is like, yeah, I can, not gonna, but then she does in the final
Yeah, and then
episode.
she does. No,
Yeah.
I mean, what I like about the first season is that even with someone where you're like, well, Kate's just a bad guy, you at least understand what she's doing, which is following her maternal figure.
Correct.
And also, that maternal figure is someone who lost their family, so
Hmm.
they're doing these bad things, but you're also like, I get why they're bonding.
Hmm.
It didn't feel like, what? Why choose her in particular? Like, obviously, it works out that you've got someone that can control the situation for you, but
Hmm.
also you would be like, well, she wants me to be her mother, and I want to be a mother, so yeah, let's do this. And
Yeah.
they found comfort in each other, and then that made it interesting when they had to go their separate. Well, where she makes her kill herself, but it was just like, oh yeah, like that made it more interesting to me that I believe that they genuinely had feelings for not in a romantic way, but that they had that relationship,
Hmm.
and that she was like, "Wait a minute, you're screwing me over too? Fuck you then."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciated that element to it. I think that's what I was missing out of season two was character stuff like that.
Hmm.
I think it's good that they do this deep dive into Marie and her sister. Well, just Marie, like around her sister and stuff. But it was just like I missed, and maybe they're there, but it just didn't work on me. Maybe there was something to season one being so new. But
Hmm.
I did rewatch and I'm like, I still feel better about this than I do season two. Of like
Yeah.
the the care put into you feeling for the character. Like even something that I don't even fully understand, which is after Golden Boy dies,
Mhm.
Andre and Kate are hooking up. I'm like, so like, did they like each other before, or are they just grieving? There's just certain lines where I'm just like, it feels like something else was going on other than just we're grieving together. Now we're hooking up.
Yeah, yeah. Whether or not they are grieving together or just mutually using each other as distractions and all that kind of stuff, was very, very interesting, right? But
It was
I
interesting,
think,
or that Golden Boy and Andre kept saying "I love you," and it wasn't like a pause, no homo. It was just like, "No, I love you, man. I
yeah,
really love you."
yeah.
It made it worse when they had to like. I mean, I guess they did hug each other, and that's where he's like, "Hey, it's in your dad's statue or whatever."
Mhm.
But it was like, oh man, like they really love each other. Now they're gonna have to fight, or something bad's gonna happen with them.
Mhm.
I I just didn't feel stuff like that in this season, season
Yeah.
two.
Season two definitely suffered from Andre not being there because you could tell
The
that
rewrite, yeah.
they had to do a lot of rewriting around it and not because they were like we're not recasting redoing this so it's like the whole season where there's a small little mystery of like how did Andre die and we figure that out it's because uh Polarity, his father and him had the
That's
same
his
power
name.
set,
Yeah,
and that
they had the same thing
there's
going on with them.
yeah, every time they use it, every time they use their powers, they're actually causing micro tears within themselves that are causing more and more damage. And Marie fixes it in Polarity,
Hmm.
and there's also that grief of like, oh crap, I couldn't have done this for Andre. There's a little bit of that for
Right. Well, I
sure.
mean,
But
they didn't.
then
They weren't
Pol
sharing. I don't even think
yeah.
Andre knew that. Like, that's just
No, no, Andre didn't. And that's that was all on Polarity. And I really, really like that scene where Marie and Polarity are having that thing of like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done this, and then Polarity is like, stop. This was my fault. I didn't protect him. I didn't tell him about this. I just wanted him to be the best and all that
hmm.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, he wasn't a dad.
Yeah, I wasn't doing my job as a dad. I was doing my job as a PR agent or something like that. And I really like that scene that they could both be uh, find some sort of closure in Andre's death because we find out that Andre died trying to
Save
escape.
everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, escape and trying to save everyone by basically tearing down this huge metal door that
Hmm.
uh, Dean Cypher goes like, "Yeah, this is the spot where he died. That's what he did. This is the memory and all that kind of stuff, and just psychologically tormenting all the crew and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. Wild, wild stuff for sure. But yeah, this season definitely suffered from having to write around that real world issue. But still do this, and I do think that a lot of the character connections didn't get played out nearly as well in this one.
Like I feel like they kept not teasing, but touching on. Obviously, in season one, Sam and Emma have sex, but they
Yes.
go their separate ways because Sam decides he wants to be on the superhero side of things,
Hmm.
and then he's trying to get, I guess, Emma's trust back throughout the season. But it's kind of just like, uh, I mean, we're doing this beat with Kate, and I don't, and Marie for that matter, because they're trying to trust
Hmm.
Marie again that she's not gonna run away again,
Hmm.
and I'm just like, I don't know that I care if Sam and Emma trust each other as much as I care about literally the other two things going on.
Yeah,
And they
I.
don't go into it because it's I feel like it's like two conversations. One conversation is like, well, if I am with this other guy, it's none of your business, and
Mhm,
then another one of just like, he's just a friend or something. I don't know, but it was
mhm.
just like, I don't know, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's a bit
Because they
weird.
made it so, uh I would say more this season's more streamlined because you are just like focused on the Godolphin cipher
Mhm,
elements and how that ties into the group specifically.
mhm.
I don't know that you needed to have Emma doing these side quests outside of what she's doing with Polarity.
Yeah, I agree, but they tried, didn't work. Like I just thought that Sam's character this whole season was like poorly written. Because like the only interesting thing that happened with Sam's character was that he in season two is that he goes back to his home with his parents and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And his parents are like, "We literally thought you were dead until we saw you on TV.
Yeah,
And then once we saw you on TV, we didn't even know how to get to you and all that kind of stuff." At least that's very, very interesting. Doesn't get played out for more than those few scenes and all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. That's the only thing to me that's interesting that happens with Sam because the rest of the season, it's just like, will he come back to our side? Will he not? Is he still on the soup side? Not interesting to
He
me.
went back to their side, right?
Yeah, he went back to their side
Yeah.
because it was that's how we find out that Marie's sister, I forget her name, um, is a precog because she's like, turn this way, turn this way, turn this way, go here, and it's like it's a brick wall, and then Sam busts through it like the Kool-Aid man,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was like, oh yeah, I foresaw this.
I foresaw this. Um, yeah, I don't remember her name. I'll look it up. Um, yeah, I guess maybe I am more just disappointed in the Sam stuff. The more I think about it,
Sure.
because I don't know that he was my favorite character in season one, but at least he was part of something interesting.
Yes.
And then they kind of were like, he's he's I don't know. Her name's
Well,
Annabeth.
oh, right, right, right. Yeah, the Marie's sister, Annabeth. The thing that's not interesting to me about Sam in this season is like all the first season was like, hey, how can we deal with a guy with powers as strong as Sam, but legitimately has these mental health issues and all that kind of stuff? I think that was interesting. And then this season, they just drop it. It's just like, oh yeah, he doesn't even have these issues with his mental health anymore, just so long as he's watching children's shows and all that kind of stuff, which it, you start to see where his hallucinations are coming from and the puppets and all that kind of stuff. But it's just like it's no longer an issue. What? It's a weird thing. It's a weird,
Well,
weird thing.
because the season isn't, and maybe it's unfair, but season one obviously is you have to get to know the world through these
Mhm.
kids. Um, so it makes sense to have them have their own storylines that converge at some point.
Mhm.
But the immediacy of this season makes it so that you can't really
It's
have
true.
Sam wander off and go see his family because you're like, well, then now we're not doing the actual thing of the show
Mhm.
this season, and so
Mhm.
then you don't really have time to do it unless the family comes to school to complain or something like that, but it would need
Mhm.
to come back to the school. He can't be off on his own.
Yeah, yeah. It's because you would have thought like, or I thought like the moment the dad was like, "We thought you were dead until we saw you on TV." I'm like, well, then you stopped. You didn't even really search for him after that, and you could find him. He was pretty like there, like in the public and all that kind of stuff. So, and that's the part that to
Oh,
me that was
after the
weird.
TV thing,
Yeah,
but I like,
and
yeah,
then like the way I think the mom was very, very interesting because she gets a lot to do, and Sam freaks out because it's like, "You're calling Vought on me, aren't you? You're doing this." And she was like, "No, I was just literally ordering a pizza." I'm like, nobody orders a pizza looking like that. You look so
yeah,
suspicious.
but is it like at the end of that, it's just her being like, you know what, fuck off. We don't actually want you here.
Yep, yep. It's
It's like you just
rough
make
for
life
Sam.
difficult. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's just like you were dead and we thought life was good. And I'm like, oh, poof. To say that about your kid? Oh, yeah, yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Um.
Rough.
Yeah. I mean, there you go. They
Mhm.
weren't looking that hard because I don't think they wanted to find him.
Yeah, that's probably true.
But I also do think they wouldn't just give him up like that. I feel like they they would have used whatever superpowers they could to keep those parents away.
I also agree with that.
Because that's basically what you see in season one is what they're constantly doing. Is anytime someone gets close, like, nah, you just don't remember. Don't worry about it. Go
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Well, it's worth mentioning that Kate's powers
They
don't
don't work
work the
properly.
same
Yeah.
way in this season and all that kind of stuff. Everything she tries to do is basically like, oh, they're gonna kill themselves or comically have
It's
sex with inanimate objects at very inappropriate times.
it's funny because in season one, it's like Tech Knight just has sex with inanimate objects,
Yeah,
not because he's under Kate's control. And
yeah,
then this, she's just accidentally getting people to have sex with them.
yeah. It's pretty funny. Like when that security guard just like starts going at it with the garden gnome, I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh wow. Oh wow. That did not work out as planned, but yeah, that's a good example of how her powers are not working properly. And yeah,
Yeah, she got real messed up.
she did. She
In
did.
between, it feels like because I only remember her hand blowing up in season one, but she's
Her
got
hand did blow up.
like her head. She's got like a wig and stuff on in season two.
Yeah, she had a major head injury that required surgery as well,
In
and
season two or one,
multiple staples between one and two or something
so
like
it is
that.
off screen. Because I was like,
Yes,
when
I think it's off screen.
when she reveals, I'm like, did I miss something? Like I only remember that, and then I rewatched season one. I'm like, yeah, they just blew up her hand.
Yeah,
I don't.
the head
I'm like, did I
injury
miss
happened off
something?
screen. It,
Yeah, I think that's another thing. Too many things are happening off screen.
yeah, yeah,
Like
and
the
like,
whole escape, the whole like obviously you can't film this escape without Andre, but it is
yeah,
just like you're already asking a lot. I
yeah.
don't know that we need multiple things happening off screen.
It was definitely not helpful that the escape happened off screen and all that kind of stuff. It was not helpful whatsoever. But yeah, it's a discombobulated season, but a very streamlined one at the same time. Very effective writing for the villains and all that kind of stuff. And I enjoyed it still, but I definitely
Yeah, I
see
like
where
the
you're
show,
saying.
but season
Yeah,
one's I feel like
it's
where the
better
goods
written.
are.
Yeah, it's definitely better written. Better concept of what the show is,
They got to
and
do exactly what they wanted as opposed to
yeah,
having to pivot.
yeah. Season two, they had to pivot,
Hmm.
and I firmly believe they're just like, hey, we got to make these two shows converge. So there was like a more definitive endpoint that they had to get to.
We'll see. I don't like.
I think you're right about the budget thing. Absolutely, I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't know that they were that concerned about it. I think they were like the same way every Spider-Man movie has to have like an MCU character in it. I
Sure.
think it was more just like, can you just like take this seriously? Look who we have here. I don't know that they're trying to, because the show's called The Boys, right? So if they
Mhm.
were like, and now we've got Marie here, she's gonna kill Homelander or be a big part of that ending, then you're like,
Mhm.
then this show wasn't important.
Yeah.
As in The Boys.
Right.
Those four seasons before that wouldn't be as important if they just got someone from their spin-off to come in and do something significant.
Right.
So I think it's more of them just being like, hey, look who we can get in our spin-off show.
Sure.
And less Yeah, I don't know that they're trying to connect them so that like they justify the existence. It's more or sorry, I do think it's just to justify the existence of just like look who we can get in it,
Mhm.
but I don't think they're trying to make it so that everyone thinks like, oh good, they're all streamlined and it works together.
No, no, I think you're definitely right about that. And then, like I said, except for most likely the final episode where there's the big fight and all that kind of stuff. I do see that happening for a lot of the characters, but I do see The Boys season 5 peppering cameos with these characters,
Yeah.
the same way that the Gen V season 2 had The Boys characters peppered in throughout, but in very significant ways and in advancing the storytelling from the from what happened between seasons and all that. So I do think that that's likely going to happen. But yeah, you're probably right that they're not going to be like, oh, okay, the Resistance features the Gen V crowd.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know anything. I feel like story writing wise, it wouldn't be in their best interest to do that.
no, and it also doesn't make as much sense because it's like these people in Gen V don't have full control of the powers the same way they
Yeah,
do in the
and you
boys.
want to be able to keep doing Gen V, I think, after this.
I
You
would
wouldn't
like
want
to
to.
think so.
So like, yeah, if you just ended it, boys, and not end it, but like Marie taking out Homelander is like, well, what are you gonna do then?
Yeah, what are you gonna do after that?
There's no real story after that.
Yeah.
Um, or I could be wrong. Let me just keep saying that, or I could be wrong. I do like in season 1 when Soldier Boy shows up and he's like, "Oh no, this is just like her sexual fantasy,"
Hmm.
and they're just responding to everything he says. He's like, "What are you talking about? What do you?" They're like, that's not a thing. Shut up. I really liked that. Yeah, I feel like both seasons did the boys' characters popping up, but
Hmm.
um it feels interesting in the last. I know. I think people don't like the last episode show. They're like, that seems way too MCU, and I'm like, sure.
I mean,
I like that we got some updates on the Resistance,
yes,
and
it's
that
not like MCU invented
H.
crossovers.
I if they're talking about the writing, I would say A Train comes off way more MCU than normal.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely he does. But it's
Uh,
just great to be like, I'm glad that's where you are right now with
yeah,
your politics, A Train. That was the thing that was like to me, I'm like, good.
that's what I liked. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
good. Like he's
He's
firmly
yeah.
in the right camp right now.
Yeah, he's no longer like foot in two boats kind of thing.
Yeah,
He's very much like, no, I'm part of the resistance. This is where I'm going with it. And I like that for a character because you're right. A
I
Train
really
has
like
some
that
of the
character.
best writing. He's
Yeah,
got
I
some
love
of the
that
best
character.
writing in the entire show. So to see him where we're at, I'm like, yes, this is great.
Um, do you have anything else you want to say about this?
Uh, not necessarily. I think I really do enjoy this show.
Yeah,
Absolutely I do. I think it's very, very fun. There's a little bit more hope in this than the boys, but
agreed.
and I do like the younger generation that they're exploring here. It's I like the conversations they're having. I like the ability that they're telling what the stories they're telling and all that kind of stuff. Absolutely fascinating stuff for sure.
Yeah, I really like this universe, like the
Mhm.
boys universe. I find
Mhm.
it very interesting, and I like that it's different than the comic, which
Yeah,
by all accounts are really rough read.
yeah, yeah. Bit heavy from what I
Yeah,
hear.
heavy, but also just kind of mean spirited without any real take. It's just like
Sure.
what's a terrible thing that could happen? That there it happened, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, great.
It's all shock value
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, as opposed to what the story they're actually telling us, which is, you know, MAGA versus everything else and all that kind of stuff right now.
yeah, like just capitalism being a terrible thing.
Capitalism, along with white supremacy, along with
Can't have one without the other.
power and all this kind of stuff. You're right. You can't have one without the other. So I like the boys universe for sure because it's tackling these very, very complex things and then also giving us a good dose of shock factor too. Because
Well,
yeah.
that's why I said like there's dark and shocking things that
Mhm.
happen, but they are part of a story they're trying to tell and a take they have on the world.
Yes, absolutely.
It's not as you said, it's not just the shock value
Mhm.
to shock you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to? I'm just gonna give a rating for both
For 1 and
seasons.
2?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
keeping in mind I really like season 1, so that should tell you how season 2 weighs this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give the 2 seasons together an 8.
Yeah, I'm at an 8.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing more of them.
Mhm.
I hope that now that this sounds bad. I hope that if they're doing a season 3, they can do the story they want to do and not have to pivot. It is
Yeah.
very sad that person died. I guess I'm being as capitalistic as I can be, but now that that's over, let's get back to the good stuff. I'm joking.
I know you are. I know you are. Because the way I see it, I'm like, if there's a season 3 of Gen V, that is definitely going to take place after season 5 of The Boys, and where my assumption is that the Homelander situation is taken care of and all that kind of stuff, and
I've gotta
that this is that this crew being like, all right, let's do superheroes properly and
Yeah, let's
fighting
give it a
the
try.
machine there. Yeah. I think that would be very, very interesting to see what kind of problems they run into, especially with a world that's very, very jaded with supers and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. So I'm very much like, yeah, season 3 is going to be them being able to do their own thing. But for now, I definitely hope there's a season 3.
Yeah, me too.
For sure, because they haven't announced it as of yet. Strategically, probably.
Yeah. I always lose track of their announcements
Sure.
in this world. I'm just like, oh, it's here? Good.
Yeah.
Well, I will watch. Thank you very much for listening, everybody. You can go to tdfeverything.com/spoiledrotten and get all of our episodes. You can also go to any podcast platform of your choice and get all of our episodes. If you want to get in touch with us, you can follow at TDFSpoiled on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and YouTube. Our email is spoiledpodcast@gmail.com. Otherwise, please rate, review, subscribe, follow, share with all your friends on all the platforms that make sense to do that on. All right. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
This has been a TDF Everything production, brah.